Good morning and hello everyone. Welcome back to Concerned Citizens again. I have the news and some other stuff tonight. I have the list of peaceful citizens, qeeroos and qarrees ambushed by Abiy Ahmed shoot to kill policy in Oromia region. I also have comments on Kadiro Elemo's reaction toward OLF and Oromo Federal Congress and Oromos, also on his call on qeeroos and the qarrees in other areas, uh, plus his comments on Oromo political leaders like Dr. Marara Gudina, General Kamal Gelchu, Dima Nago, Lenj Oleta, and others. Plus, uh, I will say something about this Oromo Region Communication Director, I think Getachew Balcha, or he's a liar. He's repeatedly lying about the situation in Oromia. Uh, let's see the news first. Johar Mohammed lawyers expressed their concerns uh, uh, with the media about the health and well-being of Johar Mohammed. They said that his health hasn't improved and access to his private doctor is still denied by Ethiopian authority. Uh, Johar Mohammed is experiencing severe pains and stomach upsets. Also, uh, they mentioned that the permission given to Johar Mohammed by judges to communicate with his wife and child living in the United States via Skype still denied by federal police and by Prosperity Party officials who are handling his case. Denying access to families is a human rights violation by international law and regulation. But I don't think Ethiopia cares about international law and regulation, especially Abiy. Two, qeeroos and qarrees continue their protest and their demands for change in Oromia and in Ethiopia. They said that they are not going back until all Oromo politicians are released from uh, Ethiopian prisons and credible changes are seen in Oromia. They repeated their calls for qeeroos and qarrees in all over Oromia to unite and stand up for Oromos suffering under Abiy Ahmed's administration. The Ethiopian government security forces carried out Abiy Ahmed's shoot to kill policy on the peaceful protesters in many areas of Oromia cities and towns. Overall, within these 2 days, 120 protesters were reported killed by the military, federal police, and the local militia coordinating attacks on these peaceful protesters. This 120 is not independently verified by like international medias, but these are from social media and those who have access with the local people back home. Only in Chiro and Asasa alone, 32 protesters were reported injured just from these two locations. So the problem we have is we have no media like OMN, that could go to the far-reaching areas and be with the protesters, report the realities. So we don't have that kind of media. So even though OMN trying from outside, by calling residents in the location of protest, they try. That's a good, but shutting down OMN from Ethiopia or Oromia region, shows how difficult to get the information about the deaths, the injuries, the sufferings Oromos are undergoing under Abiy Ahmed. That's why they shut down the OMN. The number of casualties could change rapidly as the time passes. Some of the victims have nothing to do with the protests. They were killed while they are in their own farmland and in around their homes or mosques. For example, 26 farmers were killed by the military as a revenge in the location called Sheikh Khalid village. This is a place between Awadai and the Kombolcha towns. Father and the son shot dead at their home in Shashamane. A senior Muslim religious scholar and head of the mosque, Sheikh Umar Tawil, and his wife, a mother of 3 months baby, the baby reported dead after a while, were also shot dead by Ethiopian security forces in cold blood in Asasa. According to the information coming from Asasa, this sheikh, well-known religious scholar, and the government say you are coordinating this protest against the government, but this guy got nothing to do. And they killed him. They killed his wife, mother of 3 months. The baby was also, after a while, died because nobody has the milk to feed him or to feed her. This is a gruesome crimes, very dangerous crimes are climbing in Oromia region under Abiy Ahmed leadership in Ethiopia. Just yesterday, 10 protesters seeking refuge in mosque were shot and killed brutally by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's security forces right at that sacred praying area. Usually if somebody is in the church or somebody is in the mosque, you don't go there and kill him. But this is a new reality under Abiy Ahmed. So the militaries are given full access to do whatever they want to do, whether it's mosque, church, or any area. They do this to stay in power with whatever they can. Okay. Other crimes like raping and killing of pregnant Oromo women. From last time, 80 and 63 years old husband and wife murdered at their home. One Oromo government employee I think, murdered, and his body was left for wild animals. This and many other serious crimes are happening in Oromia region. So these days, as we have following the news, Abagadas are also disrespected, seniors are disrespected, and Abagadas homes were searched in the middle of the night, their door broken, and the Abagadas were threatened, by security forces, and they are threatened not to talk to the media. If they talk, they will be arrested and killed. This is a tough situation in Oromia. Very tough situation. No respect for seniors, no respect for Oromo intellectuals, religious leaders. So Abiy is something else. Oromia really needs international supports and intervention to survive this brutal government attack in Ethiopia. So far, we didn't see international support or even concerns from countries like the United States, Germany, UK, France. Everybody is quiet. They know what's happening in Ethiopia. For some reason, I didn't see any statement from the United States embassies in Ethiopia or German embassies or UK's. Usually they express their concerns or say something, but these days, no. I don't know what's the reason. Okay. Ibrahim Boubacar, president of Mali, forced to step down by the country's military force. This is a military coup happening against him after fighting protesters called by his opposition party for several weeks in capital city Bamako and other areas. The protest leaders claimed that the 75-year-old President Ibrahim failed to restore, one, security. Second, he failed to address the country's corruption. And as a third reason they mentioned, he unable to lift the living standard for Malians, for Malian citizens. The organizers of this coup have pledged to restore stability and oversee transition to election within a reasonable period. The coup leaders are dealing with international condemnation and Mali's suspension from African unions. Yeah, African Union suspended Mali from the organization, and the international organizations, countries are condemning these actions. So we will see what's going to happen, but usually, the military has bad ending, but it could be better. Our military must also pay attention to their citizens suffering instead of protecting one prime minister in power. So they have to watch out for their people instead of just following the orders and go killing 12 years old, 9 months pregnant woman, 70 or 80 years old people, 63 old woman, killing all these youths teenagers just for protesting peacefully. So the military, they have to slow down, stop what they're doing. Is it worth to do this, to kill our own citizens for the sake of Abiy Ahmed? They have to question themselves, see what happened in the Mali. Uh, you know, I don't think thesis reporter, I don't know, but I know there's mass protest, burning, and all kind of stuff. But I didn't see the killing we have in Ethiopia. Uh, I didn't see any report, big report of killing and injuries. But the military is successfully removed uh, the president, and so we have some similar situation with Malis. The living standard of our people is nothing. Too many unemployed teenagers or qeeroos and qarrees completed, some of them high school, some of them universities with degrees, just like going around and drinking coffee, tea at the bars, and sitting idle, no job, so no living standard. This is one criteria the Malian government was removed. The security situation, yes, we have the security issues, especially in Oromia. So the prime minister is not securing Oromia region, plus the other regions also got challenged with, uh, uh, you know, killings are reported everywhere, and the Tigray region is ready to go away, and it's very tough. So we have security issue, we have living standard issue. So corruption, yes, corruption may not be big. So we have enough reason to change the government. So we may need the military to stop and think about what they are doing instead of killing their own citizens in a day life, uh, instead of practicing karates on senior citizens, their grandpas. That's shame on them. One Abagada guy reported to the media. They came to his house, forced him to open. They knock him on the ground. What that means? This is bullshit, man. How are you gonna practice karate on this? Even is not a military guy. That's nonsense. So I don't know. Is this military really they are Ethiopians? Some people they say they are Eritreans. They don't speak local language. It could be. It could be he may ask help from Eritrea. But if that happened, that is, we have to be aware. It's like an invasion. We have to fight it to the teeth. That's unconfirmed report, but it's some people they are reporting on the social media. Eritrea soldiers are in Ethiopia and harming Ethiopians, harming Oromos. So Abiy don't care about the bloodshed in Oromia. What is caring? The only thing he cares is only his power and Ethiopia without Oromos. I don't know how far he will be successful. I don't know. So these are the news analysis and the news I have for tonight. Before I go to the list of qeeroos, qarrees killed within these few days, I'm gonna play the Al Jazeera about Mali. Mali.
Al-Qaeda, secure and heavily guarded, but instead of keeping people out, these soldiers were keeping him in. He and Prime Minister Sisse were detained here on Tuesday. Confusion prevailed all day with no explanation by the military or government until President Keita appeared on state television announcing his resignation.
I want no blood to be spilled to keep me in power, and that's why I would like to thank the Malian people for their warmth. I am telling you now that I'm resigning from my position as the president and all my other positions, and I announce the dissolution of the assembly and the government.
West African bloc ECOWAS responded forcefully to the coup, isolating Mali through border closures, suspending financial flows, and called for sanctions against coup organisers and their supporters. But many Malians welcomed the coup. As word spread of a mutiny, crowds frustrated with the president and his government spurred the soldiers on. Some ransacked and burned government offices.
We've come out today to call for the total resignation of President Keita because we heard there were shots fired by the military, and we've come out to help our soldiers get rid of the president.
We are tired. The country is paralyzed, and I do not want this government.
The soldiers began their mutiny at a base on the outskirts of Bamako, the same base that saw a 2012 army uprising that opened the way to Keita's presidency. Heavily armed troops were later seen escorting a vehicle believed to be carrying the president.
We're very happy because this is a liberation for the people of Mali. All of Mali's people were waiting for this day. All of Mali's people were waiting for the president and his men to allow us to breathe.
President Keita has faced weeks of opposition protests calling for his departure after disputed parliamentary elections earlier this year. Swaths of the country are already outside the control of the government that struggled to contain an armed insurgency that's claimed thousands of lives. Now the military has forced President Keita to step down. It's unclear what their plan is for Mali and its leadership. Charlotte Ballas, Al Jazeera.
The coup has sparked widespread international condemnation. The African Union has emphatically condemned the arrests. The European Union says it's rejecting all unconstitutional change in the country and is calling for dialogue. The office of the French President Emmanuel Macron was quick to react and is urging soldiers to return to barracks. The UN Security Council is to hold an emergency meeting on Wednesday. Let's join William Lawrence, an expert on North Africa and a professor of political science at the American University in Washington, D.C. Good to have you with us again on the programme, sir. The situation very fluid, and one wonders what the fate of the president might be under the guard of disgruntled soldiers.
Well, this was very confusing today because it started what seemed to be as a mutiny against lack of pay to the military. And the next thing we knew, the military had not only taken over that base, but they descended on Bamako, arrested the president and prime minister around 4:30 p.m., and then proceeded to arrest a bunch of other officials, including those that would be involved in the constitutional succession. I took a look at the Malian constitution this evening to be sure, and there's really no one to succeed. There's been no military announcement in terms of who's in charge or what they want. So some Malian commentators have been saying, we have no president, we have no parliament, we have nothing.
It is a very strange situation. Military coups are, of course, no stranger to Mali, but Keita was able to quell discontent amongst the military. When he first came to power in 2013, and sort of unify generally a fractured economy and a society that needed guidance. What went wrong?
Well, his tenure grew out of the last coup with the same military base in 2012, and so in many ways he was the replacement power that was supposed to fix Mali's problems. But they have three overlapping sets of problems. There's a severe political crisis that grew out of the botched March 2020 elections. There's a severe economic crisis complicated by COVID-19. And there's a severe security crisis which has led to the arrest of one of the major opposition leaders held by terrorists in the north, and lots of grievances both about the failure to contain terrorism, but also the actions of the military and civilians to overreactions to in terms of terrorism. And so there's a lot of discontent, and like so many similar protests like in Algeria or Sudan, where the protests came together with a consensus of what was wrong and brought down a president, but quickly see is that there's not very much consensus about what to do next and who should represent most Malians. Even the best-known leader of the opposition, Diko, is a controversial figure among many Malians. So there's a lack of leadership at the top right now.
And of course, while that confusion remains, I mean, let's just focus in on the insurgency in the north of the country, primarily tackling armed groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIL. How much of a problem has this been for the president? He really hasn't been able to get a handle on it.
Absolutely. It's a problem that's gotten steadily worse over the last 4 or 5 years with, by some estimates, 4 or 5 or 10-fold increase in deaths caused by terrorism. The problem for Mali has bled into Burkina and Niger next door, and has become a regional issue, which has to do with these border closures and other condemnations that are going on. And there's both dissatisfaction among those that want terrorism to be harder and those who want to make peace with certain terrorist groups like the Diko, the leader who I mentioned, who wants dialogue with the jihadists up north. And so there's a real frustration with this worsening problem leading to more violence, which is also mixing with ethnic violence, but no consensus on how to best handle it, whether it needs a harder approach or a softer approach.
William Lawrence, it's always good to get your insight. Thanks very much for joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, that's Al Jazeera reporting on the Mali condition, about the removal of the Malian president and what will be the future for the Malians. So I hope they will be successful in the transitioning of their government, sharing the power, and putting the military back to the camp as they promised, and holding fair and free election in Mali. So I pray for them. In the same way, I pray for Ethiopia to change its leadership in a peaceful way without coup. Coup is unpredictable, but sometimes happen because there is no other alternatives. And just like in a current Ethiopian situation, the ones in power, they will not share power with others. They will kill citizens to stay in power. They don't allow you peaceful protest. So that's the challenge. We have to keep the resistance movement, and until we see change coming. Okay, I got these lists from somebody share on the Facebook. I got her name from Sabontu Ahmed's Facebook. She should be credited for having the list of those qeeroos and qarrees killed by Abiy's military force. You know, we have to keep the list. With her list is not complete in its totality, but it's some help, you know, about how many killed. Rough information, but she is trying her best. She put for some of the protesters just first name, no other information, no age, the age of these, these people, but she got the location where they were killed. So she got the list of 40 protesters killed within like 2 days of qeeroos action. So this is a good beginning, but it's not complete. It is very hard to get information. That's why it is incomplete, because she cannot be everywhere. She cannot be Bale, RC, Dredoa, but getting this much is also appreciated. She should be appreciated. We should encourage citizens to gather information. Maybe one day we can sue Abiy Ahmed and some of the military who are ordering shoot to kill protesters. So it's good to document the injuries, the abuses, the tortures, the killings in Oromia. We don't know. We may take them to international court one day, or we may put them in our own court system if the situation changed. So OPDOs, we gave them a free pass for the past mistakes, but they came back. They changed everything. So we have to document it. Please, listeners, document as much as you can. Names, age, location, the date of the death, the date of the rape, torture. Who did the torture? Who did the killing? Who ordered from the locals? Who did in Badessa? Who did the order in Galamso? The federal police, the militia, the local Kavale leaders. Document, document, document. So we can use it one day. So let me read the names I have. These are the names of qeeroos and qarrees killed within the last 2 days by Ethiopian armed forces, police, military, local militia, in coordination with Prosperity Party. Okay, 1, Tahir Amin, location Awadai. Faiz Abdisa from Awadai. Lammi, just Lammi, no other name. Awadai also. Nahila Ali Awadai. Nuruddin Abdul Jabbar Asabot. Murtesa Ali Asabot. Maddi Jamal Ibro Asabot. Akame Jamal Hassan Fadis. Fuad Abdul Karim Fadis. Abdi Safi from Kombolcha. Munira Ziad, also from Kombolcha. Maddi Umar Dirredoa. Farid Abdi Dirre Tiyara. Ibsa Abdi Haramaya. Shadi Ibrahim Water. Jamal Abdi Angaggo. Adunya Mulata Bila. Mustafa Shira Dodola. Sanane Hussein Asasa. Abdul Karim Amin Asasa. Sheikh Umar Awil Asasa. Fatuma Asasa. Ramadan Kadir Wabe. Kuriso Bariso Wabe. Kindesa Yuya Haramaya. Agandi Muhammad Chiro Wachu. Jamal Abdi Tune Angaggo, Muaz Mansur Awadai, Nure Awal Matakasha, Asantu Ali Bakare Matakasha, Sada Taha Abdullah Matakasha, Dahabo Ismail Chiro, Tahir Amin Awadai, Farhan Dirredawa, Muhammad Rashid Amin Khalido, Yusuf Muhammad Yusuf Khalido again, Kadire Abdullahi Qobbo, Abdi Muhammad Abdi Awadai, Keria Shashamane, Falmata, also from Shashamane. So these are the names of 40 protesters, qeeroos and qarrees. Some of them may not be protesters like the sheikh, the one they killed at the mosque. Some of them maybe have nothing to do with the protest, but the list included all people, all Oromo peaceful citizens killed by Abiy Ahmed shoot to kill policies, mercilessly, brutally killed. So these are not just names or numbers. These are human beings, Oromos, killed mercilessly by Ethiopian government for expressing themselves peacefully. They have no guns, no stones. They just protesting peacefully, demanding justice for Hachalu Hundessa and for the release of all Oromo political prisoners. They're just looking for some kind of better system. But so if I got more names, because we have more than 120 reported, so we need all these 120 plus whatever they killed at this time. Nobody knows. The killing is openly carrying out. Arresting, killing, torturing is very common in Oromia. So if Eritrea involved with this shit is a crime, and we beg them to stop. So we have to follow it. If it's happening, that's it's a invasion of by foreign countries. Eritrea is independent. She got independence. She has to stay out of Ethiopia or Oromia. Stay away. Don't interfere. Take care of your business. Your people like your democracy, and stay on power as long as you wish, but don't try to bring shit to Ethiopia or Oromos. Don't try to bloodshed the Oromos people. We beg you to stay out of our business. So that's the list. And I want to say a little bit about Kadiro Elemo, United Oromia media host. And he was saying about qeeroos in other areas, why they are not participating, why they are not showing up with other qarrees and qeeroos. Yeah, that's a good point. All should be rise up and resist this dangerous government. Silence is not an option. The government is trying to divide and rule, so maybe now is a quiet a little bit in the central Shoa area, I didn't hear about Adama people, qeeroos and qarrees in Adama, and Finfinne and the surrounding area. Too many Oromos. They are quiet. That's not good. You see what's happening in Oromia. I don't think you are happy, but for some reason you are not coming out like you did before during Wayane time. We need you right now to come out, resist peacefully. You don't have to burn, but you don't have to burn anything. You don't have to close anything. Just come out with your arms like this. This is a sign of resistance. Just go in front of gun and demand change. Demand the release of all Oromo political prisoners and freedom, and demand for the removal of command posts from Oromia. That's raping, killing, destroying uh, Oromos wells and disrespecting Oromos, you know. So silence is not an option. All qeeroos, qarrees, old, young, women, all should rise up until the change is coming in that country, you know. Just like Mali's, or just like Belarus. It's a massive demonstration going on, and the government is rejected now. The international organization, the international other like countries rejecting it. So if the people move, the international organizations and those big countries, they are, you know, they act. If you are quiet, they will be quiet. They need big number. They need big number of demonstrations, continuous, just like the one we see in Minnesota, in front of embassies. You know, we need that kind of pressure on Ethiopian embassies everywhere. Don't throw anything. Just be, you know, show up, express your demand. So, qeeroos in like Zwai, Maki, Adamitulu, Alamtena, Bishoftu, Adama, Finfinne, and the surrounding area, you need to get up. And Jimma, I don't see any big movement from Jimma Bajifar area. Nakamt, yeah, Nakamt is under challenge, under military command. They are suffering for a while. Ambo, they are doing good job, but militarized, I don't know, this guy, he will die for power. I thought he don't care about power. But now he loves power than his people. He will shed as much as, you know, blood to stay in power. So Oromos, I agree with Kadiro Elemo about qeeroos and qarrees staying quiet. It's not a good thing. All should unite together from corner to corner, from east to west, from north to south, and demand change until all these Oromo politicians are released. The other thing Kadiro Elemo mentioned is about those opposition political leaders. Yes, he's Kadiro Elemo, you did good job, really. You did good job by raising this question. What Dr. Marara Gudina is doing? All his party members are arrested, even next to him, the senior, you know, Bakala Garba, those Johar Mahmoud. What he's doing? No press release. I know he is a board member of Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation. He may be paid over there. I'm just suspect his quietness, and they have to raise their what they scare of some, I don't know. They have to demand for the release of their political members. They have to say something about the deaths, injuries happening, and the destruction happening in Oromia. The same thing with uh, General Kamal Galchu. The same thing. If you want to be a representative of your people tomorrow, if you want to come out in front of these people tomorrow for election, you have to speak out when your people are suffering. If you don't do that, as Kadir or Elamo said, you are irrelevant. You are selfish. You are not dying for people. You are dying for your own pocket. So I agree with his argument. Those politicians should speak out. They have to speak up for the people, for qeeroos, qarrees dying every day on the streets of Oromia, and for against the disrespect of uh, the military carrying out, the federal police carrying out against our politicians, against our citizens, senior citizens, mothers, grandpas. I mentioned that practicing karate on 7 years old. That's nonsense. So this disrespect, I don't know where they trained, where they got this training to disrespect senior citizens. They don't care about they don't teach them about the human right, international rules and the regulations, how to treat prisoners. They just put them in a overcrowded rooms, schools, expose them to COVID-19, so let them die, so they can win election, be president, prime minister for a lifetime. That's what they wish. So we have to resist this thing together. He mentioned also about OLF members died and others. They are also in a mess, really in a mess. They are not supposed to be in such kind of situation when the Oromos are dying, when the Oromos are in prison. This power struggle, they should have been waited until things cleared up. If they want to make this guy retire, he can retire when in the right time. They can talk, they can discuss. So that's ugly thing happening at wrong time. I don't know. It could be the interference from the government, or it could be selfishness from those lifetime OLF members. And I don't know what kind of mentality they are calculating this thing, but that's the wrong way. I said it before, I'll say it again. This is a wrong time to do anything. This is a time to be united and fight your enemy together. Resist it. And call for election too. COVID-19 is just an excuse. Now we're gonna see Tigray is gonna hold its own election within like few days with protection. America, she gonna hold election in November. We doesn't have vaccination for the disease. We don't have the medicine for the disease, but we do not postpone the election. We just do whatever we're supposed to do, using face mask, all kind of protection, sanitizers. Do the election. Give the chance to the people. So Ethiopians are silent, and if they don't get up and united against this system, they will suffer like Eritreans. one king for lifetime. So we need to stop that one, and we have to resist it. All Oromos, old, young, qeeroos, qarrees, senior citizens, intellectuals, internally, globally, we are doing it. We're gonna do it. Keep the fight until we see change in Oromia and in Ethiopia in general. The last one, I know this is too long. The Oromia Communication Bureau of Office, the director, I think is Balcha something. This guy is a liar. He is lying all the time. You know, he say qeeroos call is coming from global and from the diaspora community. No, there is issue back home. Oromos are suffering. The call is from back home. Don't blame it the diaspora. The diaspora may be playing an assisting role, but the issue is back there. You guys are killing Oromos. You guys are burning Oromos property. You guys are torturing Oromos. You are disrespecting the Oromo people. So don't bring your shit outside. Deal with it. Treat the people and open the election for the people. Let them choose their own leadership. Don't force them to be under your control by military or federal police by spending government money on the military and security instead of giving job opportunity for millions of youngsters going around and just wandering around and in tea rooms, different bars, you know. So many people are jobless, and you guys are spending money for military, for police, just to control the people, and so that you can stay in power. So you are lying. The Oromia Communication Bureau officer, I think Balcha, Getachew Balcha, no, Bacha, I don't know. This guy, he comes on ISAT and other medias. Last time BBC, challenged him very good, challenged him with evidence, and he accepted. You can see he's lying. I know he's lying. Right now, you cannot lie. Facebook is everywhere. YouTube is everywhere. People take pictures, cameras. They will send it to wherever. So I hope you will stop lying. Tell the truth and be with the people of Oromia. Clean your mistake. You may killed so many Oromos before. You are part of the Opidio. Opidios are criminals. They are part of the crime for the last 27 years. But the Oromo people, they are very nice people. They let you, accepted you with your mistake. Now you turn your back against them. I hope you will pay the price for that. So, too long, but these are the burning issues I have, and I will be coming back with other topics or news. But I will leave you with one music made for Hachalu Hundesa. Let me see if I can get it. One lady sang it very nicely for Hachalu Hundesa. Okay. I think this may be her name. Nazif Jabalu. Listen to it, and it'll make you feel sad. So I'm gonna leave you with this one, this Oromo music, and until next time, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me. And as I said, please record whatever is happening in all areas on the book form. We're gonna talk to the lawyers. we're going to bring this issue to international justice, as I said, or in our country when the things are changing. Too much bloodshed going on in Oromia. So long for now, and see you next time. Listen to this. Okay, that is make you sad. You know, she was saying that Abiy is responsible for the death of Hachalu Ndesa, and she's saying that, you know, he is the one who killed Hachalu Ndesa. And yes, yeah, so many Oromos believe that, and that's why we are demanding justice and independent investigation for Hachalu Ndesa. But I don't think we're gonna get it under Abiy Ahmed. Just praying it's gonna happen one day. I know this video is too long, but take your time to listen to it. It's worth listening to it, and share your opinion. Follow the news. Record, as I said, record everything. We're gonna use it one day. Thank you guys again. So long. Until next time.